Guys, can we please start by just giving a round of applause to Sachika, my goat? Like, can we please just come on now, give it to me, give me some, Look, I was really not trying to do a video anytime Kamen Rider Gavv comes out with something, you know? Like, I'm just enjoying it as it's going along. The last video I did was episodes 1 through 21 because there's a lot of stuff happening there that was really interesting that I wanted to talk about. Then episode 22 came out, and I saw just a huge spike in viewership coming back to this video because people were telling me to review it because so much stuff was happening. Like, a lot of people were like, please review this episode. So I deliberately waited until episode 23 came out just so I'd have enough content to talk about instead of just doing one episode. And oh my gosh, bro. Like I'm a broken. They resolved everything quickly. So quickly. Too quickly almost. Like, quick to where it almost felt like someone had to have gone into the writer's room and went, hey, we gotta wrap this stuff up, bro. Like, we get it. Like Sachika, bless her heart, came and saved the day. Girl said, I don't care what kind of monster Shoma is. Brand new, human, frog, dog, chicken, beans, potatoes, tomatoes, ramen. Yeah. We stand by him, and I said, that's what I'm talking about. Came and smacked some sense right into Hanto, dude. She is such a blessing. Like, it only makes sense that she'd be the person to stand behind Shoma no matter what's going on. It does not matter what's happening. She knows that Shoma is not evil. She knows that Shoma would never intentionally go out and start harming people and doing all this stuff, especially when he seemed just fine last time she saw him. Like, it only makes sense. She is the one person. She saved him in the beginning and gave him a place to stay. So I love her so much. And she even like wants to help now, not by like going out into the fight and actually fighting, although I hope that is what ends up happening and she becomes a Kamen Rider at some point. I don't know. But instead she decides to, you know, go on Twitter and start like almost getting into arguments with people talking about who the real Shoma is. That's what I'm talking about. that's my keyboard warrior. Then we get one of the most emotionally impactful scenes in the show thus far. Hanto apologizing for being the way that he is. Not that he needed to. Remember that. This man already went through trauma and he still feels that. But he still feels the need to apologize for not being the person Shoma could just come to about the truth of who he was. And that's powerful. The double riders reunite and fight against Bitter Gavv, who we find out isn't just one being, but in fact multiple, just scattered around. We actually learn a lot in the 2 episodes since last time. Sachika knows pretty much everything now, even that Shoma's family with the people that sparked this whole mess, and she nearly starts like actually crashing out, which is funny. Shoma relays to Hanto that he must have met his mom as a child, and she tried to help him escape, not knowing he was family with stomach. And then they came in and basically drowned her, which I originally assumed that this is what happened because of the flashback we saw last time. But here they hold on it and it actually looks like she like dissolved in that bath, which is so much more disturbing, and you can clearly see he's shaking Hanto all the way up. He's like, I gotta leave, dude. Bro just be going through it, and him learning this information prompts him to distance himself from Shoma immediately after they just made up, and it's like, okay. I mean, it was nice while it lasted. And with stuff we see later in this episode and where that could lead, I can imagine this not about to be pretty, man. Like, can we please be happy for just a minute? Like, just a little bit. It's like he got covered in tar, dude. Like, what's going on? There were so many lore drops in these episodes, man. Unk said, yeah, I was making these little snacks, bro, these little nabs crackers. My brother was like, yeah, I found some of this tasty stuff off the side of the street. Put it in the food. And he's like, but what is it? I don't care, do it. And then the Granules would take a big old bite and they said,
I've got to tell someone about this.
I'd say half of episode 23 is exposition, but I didn't mind it too much. Like, there's a lot of stuff going on, stuff set up, continuing its path. Sneaky folks in the background, like, this dude, bro, you was weird, man. You don't like him. Gave Hanto Goshizo that he whipped up himself. I don't know how Hanto just went along with that, knowing how these things are made. Like, they literally look evil. He even says, like, they're a little off, brother. It tastes just a little funny. It tastes a little strange, you know what I'm saying? Bitter almost. You feel me? And Hanto's still like, only the Lord knows what this is finna be like, man. He's evil. The chocolate. Yeah, only God knows. The fights in these episodes are not really much of anything. Like, they're cool, but I was mostly invested in the story, and at times it just sort of felt like they were there for obligation. Didn't really wow me all too much, but they got the job done. I will say, though, that anytime Bitter Gavv stuck a Gochizo into his blade and they started crying, I felt myself progressively getting more and more, like, viscerally angry. Like, leave my children alone. All this is to say, I am so satisfied with Gavv. Gavv is, like, is such a good show. I said it last time, but it's like early Heisei Kamen Rider. It just scratches that itch, dude. You know what I mean? And also, I want Sachika to be. I want to see her on the field. I think that would be so fun. I don't care how they do it. Just put Sachika on the field. That's my goat, dude. The video is over.
Piece of cake.
Amanda, Austin, Brandon, Chaco, Emilia, Helen, Ian, Luke, Matt, Julia, Savan.